Hi everyone, it's an end of an era. So here we are in Case Flairs School and I'm at this table. And in 1987, this table entered Case Flairs School. And over the last 34 years, I have trained hundreds and hundreds of students. This table, if it could talk, I tell you, it would have some memories. And today, because obviously things have changed so much over the last, 2-3 decades, and our business has completely changed with COVID. So now we are going to be a completely online floristry training school. We have been for the last 15 months. But obviously with online, the business has completely changed. We need more room here now for storage, for office space, for the studio, for making videos, to talk to our students in our bloom rooms every day. So this poor table is going to have to go. But we're here this morning and we're just reminiscing, that way. It's a little bit we're kind of like nostalgic, I suppose, in a way. And we're going through all the names of the students that we can remember. And as I said, there's hundreds of them, that way I won't be able to remember. And I'm kind of reminiscing because I can nearly remember where they all sat, or I can tell something personal about them. Now again, anybody watching, and if I leave you out, don't be offended. But I suppose one of the first two names here is Carmel and Helena, and their surname was O'Rourke, the same as ourselves. And they were two young girls who came to the school years and years ago from County Leitrim, from a little place called Drumshanbo. And they trained here at the school, and they then opened their own florist called La Bella Flor in Drumshanbo, County Leitrim. And they have went on to be award-winning florists. And they would have both sat at this, they all sat beside each other at the top end of the table. I normally stood at the top and they would have always been at my left-hand side. And the gas thing was, as students came back for each module, they always tried to sit in the same seats that they sat at their previous programme. And then I can remember John Hines. John Hines was from County Cavan. And he actually was a baker. He baked wedding cakes. And I remember him getting in touch with me, and he used to decorate his wedding cakes with flowers. And he was at a wedding fair. He was very artistic. He was asked about doing actual wedding flowers for the bride and the groom. And he approached me, and he came to Dublin to train to be a florist. And again, John went on to open an amazing business, still is in business to this day. And his gas, he always sat at that end of the table, you know what I mean? And he was a gas character. And the thing is, I always kind of felt, we always had more women than men at the school. So when the men used to come, I always said to them, "You are blessed among women." His business was called Bouquets to Banquets. And again, it's as clear as anything, the shiny head on him. I can remember him still sitting at this table here in the school. Another student that would stay in my mind was Lorna. Lorna opened a business called A Room in a Bloom in Athlone, and she still has an amazing business, and she actually trains florists herself now. And when Lorna came here to school, she sat at the opposite side of the table. So when I was standing at the top of the room, she was on my right-hand side. And again, a very young girl, like when she came, and it's gas, like we're still in touch with her. We're still in kind of similar florist groups. And again, obviously pre-COVID, when the Irish florists would all meet up, we'd always meet up with Laura for a few drinks. Going through my list here. And then I remember Katrina Healy O'Brien. She came from Macroom in County Cork. And she was just 6 weeks after having a new baby, and she was going to open up a florist. Her husband had just been let go from his job. I think she'd about 3, 4, 5 kids at the time. As I said, a 6-week-old baby. I was actually talking to her the other day, and I think he's about 11 or 12 now at this stage. She always sat down the end of the room. Again, she was like, the talkative students, sit down the end of the room away from the tutor. And I remember her staying up in Dublin when she was attending her courses here at the school, and obviously it was so hard for her. Her baby was at home, husband was minding the baby. And again, I remember when we were doing funeral work, and we were talking about, doing, Man United and Flairs. And again, as clear as anything, I can remember her husband, the way he was able to cut out all the shapes, because again, he was very handy and still is very hands-on with her here in the business. She still has her business, Enchanted Flairs, down in Macroom, County Cork. Another student student that sticks in my mind was Yasmin Oxford, and she went on to open a business in Milltown, also called Enchanted Flairs. And Yasmin was all into natural. I always remember about the moss, you know that way. She absolutely adored the moss, you know that way. We still use moss here at the school. And again, her shop, she would be into a lot of environmentally eco-friendly arrangements, and again, an amazing florist. And here in the school, she always sat on my left-hand side up the top of the table. Another student that sticks in my mind, and to be honest, she wouldn't have actually sat at this table because we used to have another table in one of our other classrooms, Anna Finlay. And Anna Finlay, when she came to us originally, she came to learn how to do her own wedding flower. She was a Scottish girl. And when she came back after her honeymoon, again, this would have been back in the recession, probably of 88, 87, like a long, long time ago. And when she came back off her honeymoon, she was let go from her job. So she came back to us to do the other training programs, and she went on to open up her own flower shop. And her flower shop was called Blooming Amazing. And originally she opened up in Stony Batter. Now it's gas, like Stony Batter is so the yuppie and on-trend place to be nowadays in Dublin. But back then, it probably wasn't the right situation, right location. And she went on then to open a florist in Ranelagh, who actually was another past student of ours, had originally opened Blooming Amazing in Ranelagh, and Anna Finlay then took over that shop. And since then, she's opened up 2 or 3 more florist businesses around the country. And again, she takes on staff here from the school. And again, we're just reminiscing here, going back over some of our old students. Then I remember Wayne Richardson. Wayne would have sat halfway down the table on the right-hand side. Again, very shy bloke, you know that way. And he went on to open, what was the name? Bath Lane Blooms over in Phibsborough, an amazing flower shop. He is an amazing florist, he is. But again, he was so shy. And again, another one of our blessed among women, you know that way. When he would have came to the school, he probably would have been outnumbered. And again, even with the online program, sure, I have an awful habit of saying hi ladies or hi girls or whatever, and obviously, you know, we would obviously get less fellas, you know, the way than we would women. But Wayne was an amazing student, and again, he would have sat over that side of the room. Again, I just have a list here. We had Carrie O'Connor down in Kerry. Tracy, she sat down the bottom of the room down there. I remember she had just closed a Montessori school. We had Lisa, who went on to open Moss and Mushroom, an amazing wedding florist. She would have sat over that side of the table. We had Gretchen, who actually was a friend of Lisa from Mushroom. And Gretchen went on to open her florist called Gretchen's Petals. And just there recently, she's announced she's opened her second flower shop. We had Ursula from Tyrone, and Ursula arrived with her mum and her aunt, and she went on to open an amazing wedding company called Love Blossoms. And again, up the north, she went on to win like Florist of the Year, Wedding Florist of the Year, amazing awards. We had Adele Cooney. I always remember Adele, she sat down that end. Adele, remember, she was out sick that week. I remember slagging her saying that we had to give her a sick note when she was here at the school. And she's opened up an amazing company called Vintage Affair. Again, they're going for years. And again, amazing wedding specialist. We had Olga. Olga was up in Derry. And again, can't remember. Oh, Olga set up the top, she did. Yeah, Olga set up the top of the table. You always got the good students set up the top. We had Glenda Ruddle from Lurgan up the north. She sat about halfway down the table here. And again, she was tiny, because I remember when we were talking about shop layout and her husband was making a counter for her. And I would say, make sure that it suits you, that it's at the right height for you. We had Teresa from Pitty Floors down in Limerick, again, an amazing wedding specialist. She sat over the opposite side of the room. We had Louise Darling Buds, and again, she announced to us her pregnancy when she was here. And I remember she hadn't even told her mum or anybody else that she was pregnant. But she had recently married, and of course, you know me, I'd say to any news, that happening. And of course, she had to splurt it out. She said, yeah, I'm pregnant, and I haven't even told my mother, you know. Then we had Pamela Dillon down in Cork. She was a second generation florist because I actually would have had her mum came to us. We had Kerry Bedell, who originally worked from home, and then she went into business with Alison, another past student of the school, and they still have, well, Kerry still has Bridget Below and down in Waterford, but Alison, my went on to open up her own business called Fox and Bear, and she specialises in like dried flowers, and she grows her own flowers. We had Katherine Roche. Do you remember Katrina? Little Katrina down in Kilkenny, and she has a florist there called Blotna Biog. We had Sive, like Love Size Flowers, again a wedding specialist, and she's based here in Dublin. We had Trina Norton, Flower Ball, and again an amazing florist. Oh, like it's just mad going back through, and again like remembering where they all sat at the table. It's just been gas here, like myself and Deirdre, and we're going through things, and we say, like, do you remember when the class was here, like, you know, and like you could F and blind and you could say whatever you wanted because nothing was being recorded. Where now I would be teaching something and Deirdre would be recording them, say, no, cut, like take that out, you can't say that, Janette, you know what I mean? That'd be the wrong thing to say, that's not politically correct, whatever. We had Shirley Gilligan. Shirley was kind of a quiet student, and she was from County Clare. She sat down the bottom side of the room down there. Do you remember Heather Betsy? That was another one we got pregnant.
Yeah.
We had an amazing fertility, what would you say? Success, you know the way. I used to often say we were better than the Rotunda Fertility Clinic. But Heather Betsy, she won a scholarship, and she would have said about a 2/3 down. She said about here at the table. And I remember her telling us again, she was a young bride, and she was trying to have a baby. And I said, listen, a couple of weeks here at Case Flairs School, whatever it is about the pollen, we'll get you pregnant. And we did. We got her pregnant. Tracy Murray. Do you remember? I even remember Teresa, and she was in Dublin having operations. She would have been a great friend of John Hines, you know that way. Teresa was from County Clare. She has a business called April Flowers, you know that way. Again, still stay in touch with her. It's gas the way we even made friends with some of these students on Facebook. We had Yvonne from Mayflower, Vintage Mayflower in County Louth. It's gas, we met her in Holland there recently at a flower event. We had Mary Codd. She opened a business, Flower Pot, down in Rosslare Harbour. We've often had to use her to send flowers ourselves. We had Fiona Liston. She was over in Limerick, was it, Deirdre? Meadow Sweet Flowers. Grows all her own flowers, organic, and again we specialise for brides looking for organic Irish grown wedding flowers. Alison Fox and Bear in Kilkenny, we mentioned her, she already was, do you remember Alison and her eyebrows?
Oh my God.
I used to be mad about her eyebrows. She was one of our most, I can't say our most glamorous florist, but she was definitely one of our most glamorous students here. We had Siobhan from Craig Flairs in County Galway, and again, like Alison, she grows all her own. People looking for organically Irish grown flowers, and it's gas, like she supplies a lot of her students now, she does, looking for Irish grown flowers. Caroline Lenhen, I remember her, a really tall student from Galway. She probably had to shrink it now. Mrs. Blooms, maybe she hasn't. We had Tracy Daisy Chain, and Greg Namana is a County Kilkenny. I know it's Greg Namana florist, I know, and it's gas. She was originally working in that flower shop for a sister of Judy over in Flairs in County Mayo. And again, Judy's sister was running the flower shop. And again, I think she emigrated to Australia, she did. And it's gas, Tracy then eventually took over that flower shop. So it's just mad kind of going back, as I said, if this table could talk, it probably could tell some scandal. Because when the students were here at the school, you know what I mean, we got to know them so well. Like it's gas even online how well we get to know the students. But when they were here in the school, we knew every little bit of juicy gossip, and we got it out of them anyway, do you know the way? They probably knew everything about me as well. But we made such good friends over the years. I could just see here, Denise in Kenmare. I'd never heard of Kenmare, but see me like it is. I think it is the back of Beyonds, you know the way, down in County Kerry. And I remember when she opened her flower shop, it's still there. A lot of our staff have come to us to be trained since. And I remember saying like the delivery trucks would only go out so far, and because again, see the road was like, you know what I mean, one of them typical Irish roads, you know the way, and the trucks wouldn't go out any further, and she'd have to drive in to collect her flowers. But it's absolutely mad, it is. But why we're talking here today is, again, because the online floristry school has been so successful. Like, I've only been mentioning the students that sat at this table. I could have another 10 minutes, like naming off our students who've done our online program, who now have successfully went on to open up their own business. But as I said, our business has changed, and this table is no longer wanted. It's an unwanted. Does anybody want a table out there? It's an unneeded, unwanted table, because again, it's just the way our situation has changed. So today, where you have, I probably sound even a little bit echoey here, probably a little bit emotional as well, but we've cleared out this room. We're clearing out all the rooms here in the school, to be honest. We're getting it all refurbished. And the carpenters are coming down a little while to take this table out. We'll probably video it going down the stairs and are putting it in a skip. We'll probably have to cut it up into bits because it's huge, like, you know what I mean? As I said, you know, 10, 12 students sat at this table comfortably, and we had our lunch on it as well. You know, when we break our penguin bars and our penguin bars and our wagon wheels, and you know me, cup of tea. Would you like a cup of tea? Always have a cup of tea for the students when they arrived. And as I said, students that arrived here and they were shy, they were quiet, they were boisterous, they were chatty, they were nervous, you know, that way. It was always full on here. If you are a past student of our school and you sat at this table and you have some memories, I'd absolutely love if you posted some of your memories in the comments below. And again, apologies if I didn't get to mention you. I was just trying to like name off all the students I could remember that went on to open their own business. But again, we have lots of students who are working in other people's flower shops, or again, maybe working from home kind of on a commercial basis. If anybody watching is interested in maybe training as a florist, now unfortunately you can't sit at this table anymore, but listen, you'll be able to join our programs, our online programs. You will be in the bloom room. You can sit at your own table in our bloom room. Why don't you go to our website, flowerschoolireland.com, and look up the professional commercial courses. There's a drop-down menu and you'll see Module 1, Module 2, Module 3, Module 4. And we have the full breakdown syllabus of exactly what we cover. That's one thing. When you came to our school, we always told you what we would cover. And sometimes students would say, will we get through all this? And I say, well, you won't be leaving this table till we have everything covered. And it's the same with the online program. We have it over a 4-week program, but if the program has to be extended, like that happens, we get absolutely everything covered as part of our program. Again, if you want to give us a ring and you want to have a chat about your training or training to be a florist, why don't you give us a ring here? Our number is 01 for Dublin 4538 649. So now, I think we'll have a cup of tea before the carpenter comes, and then we'll have to say goodbye to the table. So listen, thanks for listening to us, and as I said, I'd love to hear or see your memories below. Bye bye everyone.
Yeah, maybe give me half.
No.
Fucking loads of it. Steve, real quick.
Probably won't give up the floristry job. I always say to the students I'm not a good secretary, but I'm probably not a great painter either. So we're just at the end of the makeover. Well, I won't say we're at the end. There's still lots more to be done. We still have to get the workstation for the demonstration. The office part is a little bit still all in a heap. But listen, we are getting there. So I hope you enjoyed following us on our journey. And as soon as everything is finally finished, we will bring you on a kind of a live, like, what would you call it? A walk around tour, do you?
Yeah, a room tour.
A room tour. Rooms. We'll bring you a tour of Case Flairs School. So listen, thank you for following us and a huge thanks for all your support. We really appreciate it. Bye bye. See you then.